Let's begin by making sure you're in the tab labeled Student Intervention Log. If you're not in this tab, or if your sheet looks differently from the one I have on the screen, hover over the tab and click. Let's start by entering Ima Samples information. I'm going to start by entering her last name and her first name, her student ID number, and her date of birth. Ima's in the 3rd grade, so I'm going to select grade 3 from the drop-down list. Enter my name as her teacher. I'm going to choose her race and ethnicity as it's labeled in Infinite Campus. I'm going to determine whether or not she's an ESOL student. Ima is not, so I'm going to select no. If you select that a student is an ESOL student, then they will also have WIDA scores and access scores, but since Ima is not an ESOL student, she does not have WIDA or access scores, so those cells will remain blank. I'm going to indicate that she was previously retained in the 1st grade. And some students will have a speech screener administered to them, and you'll work with your SLP to determine if this will be appropriate or not. If it is appropriate, your SLP will indicate which screener she administers, and you will enter that in the corresponding cell. Since speech and language is not a problem for Ima, we're going to leave that cell alone, and we're going to move on to the next section. All students in grades 3 through 5 will participate in the SRI Scholastic Reading Inventory and receive a Lexile score 3 times a year. Ima participated in the SRI, and it indicated that her Lexile score was a 220 for the first benchmark period. All students also receive a DIBELS assessment 3 times a year. The grade level determines which part of DIBELS is administered. Because Ima's in the 3rd grade, we administered the DORF, the DIBELS Oral Reading Fluency, and it indicated that she's reading 40 words per minute. All students will also participate in the iReady Math assessment 3 times a year. Ima participated in the iReady assessment, and it indicated that her scale score was a 478. These 3 universal screeners tell us that Ima is at risk for reading, but not for math. So I'm going to go here and select an intervention for reading, which is appropriate for Ima. I'm going to, as her teacher, I administered the IDI, and determined that the appropriate intervention for her is the differentiation box 2 for word recognition and fluency. So I'm going to begin administering that intervention to Ima on August 20th, 2015.